So I was working in quite a different field before this. I was working in radiation biology. But as a scientist, I felt I really needed to get a PhD to progress in my career. But it's such a long commitment for 4 years. I thought, I'm going to do it in something that I'm really passionate about. So having a think, I thought food and nutrition is something that I'd be willing to commit 4 years of my life to. So having a look online, I found the DTP and it was perfect. And I'm so glad that I did choose, because it's your whole life. So it's something that I'm really, really interested about, which is great. But what about you?
So I was working as a dietitian, and when I saw the advertisement, I was in a transition between being a community dietitian in Norwich to being a dietitian more focused in research in the Cambridge Hospital. And it was, I think, a perfect timing, because I was really interested into research, and I just found that DTP PhD in an area that I was really passionate about, and I really felt the need while working as a dietitian that I want to investigate more, to give some more time and some more research in something that wasn't that much researched before. So that's how I really decided that I really want to go for it. And as you said, it's a 4-year PhD. So you know already that you have to invest time, and it needs to be something that you're really passionate, but you also need to have like a nice journey within it. So yeah, I wouldn't have done that if it wasn't for the PhD, the DTP PhD.
Yeah. So when I applied to do the PhD, I thought it was going to be sort of halfway between being an undergrad and having a full-time job. So it was going to be quite relaxed and mainly studying. But having started, I've realised that at times it's a lot more effort and responsibility than any other jobs that I've had. And I think because it's your own work, it's your own responsibility too, it takes up a lot of your time. And yeah, it's a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely, you're right. And for me, I didn't know what to expect. I've worked with PhD students during my undergrad and my master's studies, and it was always that it felt that they were responsible for their subject, but there was always their supervisor that was making other decisions. So I think entering into a PhD, it's very confusing, especially if you've worked before. Mm-hmm. I think one of the biggest challenges in the beginning, I don't know if you had that as well, it was like, so is it not a 9-to-5 thing? And how do I manage my time? And how exactly do I communicate with my supervisors? And for that, I believe that being like in a DTP environment where you can communicate with other students that are like in a second or third years while you're in your first year, it's important. So yeah, you can get the feedback, and yeah, it's normal in the beginning. I think it feels very reassuring to have this community.
I think it takes a lot of pressure off as well. I know lots of people, when they do their PhDs, they're quite lonely and they don't know who to go to, but part of the DTP, we all get introduced to each other straight away, and that's been really useful for me as well, and also making some good friends along the way.
Absolutely. These regular meetings, for example, like you have something to expect, and when you feel like a little bit more, I don't know, lost in the process, I think there's always either another student or even like the group of supervisors that can actually direct you and tell you, yes, okay, that's absolutely normal, you're in the right direction.
Yeah, and I feel like we're all in this together, so everyone's supporting each other as well.
Yes, which is very, very important, and definitely something that I haven't seen a lot before.
Yeah.
Normally a PhD, it's a very lonely journey, but I think that doing it within the team, within for example, for us, a DTP studentship, makes a difference.
So I guess you had some overlap from your previous job between your skills now?
Oh, yes. And I am pleased that I actually had some working experience before my PhD for many reasons. Obviously, I'm still trying to figure that out, but definitely time management and stress management. I think you have some experience of, okay, it's not the end of the world and there's always the next day, and you can manage your time and you can manage your stress a bit more efficiently. But for me, I think it was also important because working as a dietitian, working with patients and in clinics and chatting with people, helped me a lot in the whole transition of having a study with volunteers and being able to understand them and work with them and give them directions or everything. It was really a part that I felt confident having done that before. What about you?
Well, mine was different because I was in a completely different field. So I was working in radiation biology, genetics. So it was completely different to go over to sensory and food. There's not a lot of overlapping analysis at all, but I guess it did help in terms of we had other PhD students working, so we could sort of see. I get an idea of what it's like to be a PhD student before going into it. So I feel like that helped. And also just having work experience in general really helped, I think. Instead of going straight from an undergrad to do a PhD, I feel like it was good you get into a routine of doing a 9-to-5 job and having a workload. So, and I guess it's made me appreciate the PhD more because it's really nice to sort of be your own boss and be like, this is my work rather than I'm doing this for someone else.
Yeah, the flexibility that it offers. It's a good and a bad thing, but I think having like worked before, having a job and understanding what your responsibilities are, going into this flexibility, it gives you some more power instead of feeling insecure or lost.
So yeah, I think another reason it was really good to have worked first is because it gave me a few years working in other industries to see what's out there, but also having time to think about what I definitely want to do career-wise. So if I'd have just left my undergrad straight away, I might have gone into a different area. But the way I did it, I was really confident that this is definitely what I want to do. So I'm confident it's the right decision to make.
That is so true. Like when I finished my master's, I was thinking, well, I'm not going to go for a PhD. But I think if I had decided to go for a PhD, that would be a completely different thing. And possibly I wouldn't be enjoying it that much. I think the working experience helped me to realize and get the experience of, okay, I like this, I don't like that. And then be more focused on, okay, I want to do that part in a 4-year research project. It's really a big amount of time to be a bit more in between. You really need to be passionate about it and enjoy it.
Yeah.